Good evening, everyone. Andrew Full here. Welcome back to another Monday Night Live presented by Queen Tackle here at the Serious Angler Podcast. Tonight, we're doing a little St. Lawrence Open preview, the last Northern Open of the season. We're going to break down who the top five are in point standings, what's on the line, like an Elite Series berth or Classic berth. Talk about some other things. We have Mike Schnupp joining us tonight because Bailey and Adam Deacon are both up at the St. Lawerence River getting ready for this final Northern Open. So just a fair warning if my voice kind of goes in and out. I traveled this past weekend down to North Carolina. I feel great, just I have no voice. I was at a wedding. So for everybody listening and tuning in, I apologize to your ears. But what we're going to do here now is we're going to get Mike on. We're going to talk about the Northern Open. We're going to talk about a couple other things that is going on in the fishing world, and then a tournament that we have coming up next weekend here in Buffalo on Lake Erie. So without further ado, let's get Mike on. Good evening, Mike. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, you know, hope not
like crap.
Corona. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah. I mean, you just had a recent deal with that. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, good. I didn't have it too terribly bad. My wife had it worse than I did. My kids got it, but for the most part, it was just like a nasty sinus infection for me, and never really got that like drain tiredness. Just like I said, sinus infection, a little bit, soreness and stiffness, but I can't tell the difference anymore if it's my body or a cold.
Fair enough. So thank goodness you're all right. I'm sure you probably got it from ICAST because you were down there for ICAST, and it seems like everybody who went there got it for the most part, right?
I'm sure. I'm sure it's something. Traveling, you never know.
Yeah. So while we're on the sad subject of COVID, there was a National Professional Fishing League guy who just passed away, and Donnie O'Neill. So my condolences to that whole family on that side and his friends and even the league. It's a very sad deal. And it stinks that people are passing from it. Unfortunately, it's something that we're probably going to deal with the rest of eternity because it's probably going to become an endemic here shortly.
Yeah, it's sad, man. Everybody's body reacts differently. Like I said, it wasn't too bad for me. My wife had it pretty bad. My kids, they were down for like 2 days and act like nothing happened. So, it's just, you just really never know. So.
Right, yeah. And that's the craziest part about it. You just don't know. So for everybody who does get it, I hope they get through it quickly and feel better. We saw videos of like Dustin Connell where he was on the boat with an oxygen tank with him. So it's just crazy that it affects everybody differently. So without further ado, let's dive into the Northern Open there on the St. Lawrence. What are your thoughts and opinions going into it there?
Ooh, man. It's, as you know, and it's going to be the same deal with our tournament. They're kind of getting in that transition, and it's going to be hard to catch them stacked up. And I think, I don't know, man. I think the river's going to play. Now that the Canadian waters are open, there's just so many different variables, and I'd guarantee you're going to see a few 6.5 pounders or maybe even bigger weighed in because that place definitely got them.
From talking to Bailey, he said a couple guys have caught like 26, 27-pound bags fairly quickly in practice. And these are guys that have no experience on that river. I'm sure they're out in Lake Ontario on the Canadian side. As we know, pressure really does a lot to smallmouth. They're dumb as can be when you're the only one on them, but as soon as you put 225 boats on a body of water, they feel it. All that.
100%.
The electronics.
100%.
So interesting note, BP is leading the AOI for the Northern Opens, and he is not fishing.
Oh, wow.
So
because he's leading, then Ike and Ellie's second.
Yep, Ike's second, then Cascuela Hugh?
Yeah, Cascuela.
Cascuela. I can't talk right now, so
No. And then Prosnick's fifth.
Alex Redwine, and
fourth, and then Jonathan Kelly. Mansfield, he's in ninth.
Yeah, he could make it. What do they take? Is it top 3 or is it top 4 this year, Mike? From each
Ooh,
division.
I don't know because they changed it.
They're
I
always
want to say it's a top 4, but I'm not sure because they also go by you have the Northern, the Southern, Central,
yeah.
and then you
So
have the Opens AOI.
yeah, I think they're taking
So
15. I think I heard it's either 13 or 15.
okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 times.
So that'd be 12. So they might be doing
Yeah.
4, 4, and 3 from the
Yeah.
overall. 4, 4, 4, and
Possibly.
3. So
Yeah, because and then Prosnick's leading the overall Opens.
Yep.
And then I'm not even decided. Masayuki Mishuita. I'm gonna butcher that up, obviously. And then Thomas Williams third, and then Denny Feidler fourth.
Tommy Williams has been close the last couple of years, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Making it. So maybe he'll break through this time, and because he's the one who won Lake Travis last fall, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
With the Fortrex, no Ultrex on his boat. So interesting deal. Just proves that you don't need all the top end electronics.
Yeah, he won on Louisville.
Louisville, that's it.
Yep.
So to answer Roger Dudra's question here, I do believe Canada is open. There's no restrictions to go across and fish in Canadian water currently that I am aware of. You just can't touch land, and then it becomes a giant debacle. So hopefully nothing happens there. Have you taken a look at the weather forecast, Mike?
I have not.
So 8 to 15 southwest winds Thursday, Friday, Saturday throughout the tournament.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to have 1 to 5 footers.
Yeah, it just depends on which way they're going and which way the lake is.
Yeah, so the lake is probably going to be rough. Any of the Canadian boys, I'm sure the Johnsons are in it. I'm sure are the true favorites.
Oh, yeah. Those boys on that lake.
They're virtually unbeatable. It's crazy. I wouldn't be surprised. This is my bold prediction. I think you might see a 30-pound bag.
I think it's very possible this time of year. I think, obviously it's a little further north, so it gets a little colder, more than Buffalo per se, just a little bit. But there's I'd say there's a fair shot for sure. I'd say if not 30, dang near 30.
Yeah. So I mean, if they're catching 25 to 27 pounds in practice and they're laying off of them, if they can find a sweet little honey hole. And my thought process is the Toyota series or whatever the FLW MLS is now. They had 20. I think Chris Johnson had almost 28 at the last day, and he was fishing for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So because they're running all the way from Messina to the Canadian shoreline in Lake Ontario, which is insane. Give them Clayton to there is a 16th of the amount of time of running. They're going to have 8 hours to fish. They're going to whack them.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, like you said, the dude can make that long of a run, fish for an hour and a half, and still bring in 28 pounds. Like, that's just insane. Those boys definitely got it dialed in, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I'm pretty sure the weights will be stacked.
Yeah.
For sure. I feel like, and then you're just going to have those random ones thrown in there where guys just struggle. It's just the nature of smallmouth fishing.
I think the ones who struggle are going to be the ones that are chasing river fish. And they're like, they were here yesterday because those river fish, I feel they have so much to hide behind. Just a couple of times I've been up there. And the areas to move from 40-foot to another 40-foot break really isn't that far away. And smallmouth tend to be pelagic and normatic. So, I mean, I think it's going to be one in the lake, even if there's 5 footers and it's open. I don't think the river fish are going to compete.
Much. I mean, if there's 5 footers and you can, like you said, they don't have to make that big of a run because of where it's putting at. I mean, I'm not being silly, dude. If 5 footers and I have a chance of winning the thing or dang near winning it.
Yep.
I'll fight those 5 footers. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You make sure all my stuff's tightened.
Oh.
Yeah. Make sure everything's tightened down.
The water.
Yeah.
You don't want the motor coming off the jack plate or
no.
So But so Bass Tour Anglers podcast said it's 12, 3, 3, and 3.
3, 3, 3. Okay.
3, 3, 3.
So we were close. So we had it backwards a little bit. So I saw.
Oh, sorry. It says Ike and Ellie said he'll fish the elites if he stays in the top 3 of the Northerns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I believe he announced at the beginning of the year he didn't want to take.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He didn't want to take a Legends exemption. He wanted to qualify the hard way, like Christie did and Hackney did too. He didn't want to just come back.
Yeah, so no, and you got to respect that too.
But he's killing it in the kayak game.
Yeah, I saw he just won a tournament a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But then you talk about the Southern Opens. You know, the top 3 right now are Jacob Fouts, David Williams, and Blake Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Blake, you know, he's had a good year. I know him personally. I used to travel with him when I fished the tour. You know, he had a 7th on Harris, which, you know, honestly, yeah. I mean, he lives about an hour and 20 minutes from there or so. But you know, he's due, man. He's a really, really good guy, and he just, you know, he fishes his butt off and puts so much effort into it. I'm not saying that other guys don't by any means, but you know, he's Florida tournaments. He's kind of, you know, I mean, it's his home area, but he's kind of struggled just because, you know, if you want to say the home lake curse type thing, and he just, you know, it's starting to come together, and I just hope we can continue that way for him. You know, because he had 7th place and then a 26th on Douglas.
I think the wild card there for that Southerns, I hate to segue here, but is going to be that because they're in Norman in September, I think, for the last event, right?
Yeah, they're in Norman, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a curveball.
Oh, 100%.
Norman right now, I mean, when we left Asheville, I think next week it's going to be back in the 90s down there. It was beautiful, 70, 75, sunny, but it's supposed to get cranking again. So those fish are funny with all the pleasure boats.
But I think it's not till October, right?
I want to say it was the end of September, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't follow the Southerns all that much once the Northerns go. But what do you think is going to be the main bait for this Northern Open on the St. Lawrence?
Is that a rhetorical question, or is that?
Yes. Almost like a joke at this point.
Yeah, it's almost, I mean, obviously, you know, the flatworms, I mean, everybody knows. I mean, now there's going to be a little bit, you know, different techniques and stuff like that. You know, like Sakai, you know, he won it on the co-angler side. He's doing all kinds of different stuff.
Congrats to him. It's one of our buddies here, so who won the co-angler side in that MLF tournament up there. He got Chris Johnson on the final day.
Yeah, so twice. That's the second time he's gotten him on the final day, and he's won. So
well, so at Buffalo, he actually drew him on the first day, but the second and third day were canceled because wind is such a problem here. So, but it's gonna be. I'm gonna be excited to watch it. I'm gonna follow. I can't wait for live on Saturday. I probably won't be able to watch much because I have a guide trip, but I'm sure I'm going to be getting all kinds of alerts.
I thought I read somewhere, or maybe it's next year, that the Opens are going to be live the whole time.
So that'll be interesting. Like, if that is true, that'll be interesting because what do they do with co-anglers?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's I don't know.
Are they going to make like the Bassmaster weekend series and they got to qualify to get to the Opens?
Possibly. I mean, there's the industry right now and everything's just changing so much. You don't really know. I mean, you got, like you said, you got the National Professional Fishing League, you got FLW or MLF, whatever. They run everything. You got the Opens, the elites. It's just, man, I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. Cause I mean, you know, that just shows the industry's growing and the sport's growing and whatnot. But it's just, it's so hard to keep up with everything and see where things are going.
It really is. It's crazy. I mean, and just to like think about the ever changing of the industry, it's like baits. How much better can baits get at this point? Like, I hate to,
or even electronics.
Like, it's just crazy where they're at. Even like HDS Lives, even though they've been out for 2 years now.
Yeah,
which means the
2 or 3. Yeah.
which means the technology is now starting to get old on them, and they are still absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I love mine.
So me too. But the whole live, like the live scope part of it is just changing. I'm really curious as to where it evolves. Like I could see Hummingbird turning into like a 360 live,
Yeah.
like that infrared radar around the boat.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just something like that would be insane. You would have live imaging 360 degrees all the time. You wouldn't need any other sonar besides that.
And I mean, that's the thing. If you look, like you said, with if they want forward-facing sonar, Patrick Walters. I mean, 2 years ago down in Texas. That's what he was using. And I mean, he still uses it. And obviously, the thing is, if you're going to try to fish professionally, if you don't have it, you're. I mean, you're already going down there.
With your hands handcuffed behind your back.
Yeah, yeah.
At least one of them. Then you could be a great fisherman. But as soon as that offshore bites goes, it's totally a game changer. That's one thing I will say, though. It has totally revolutionized the jerkbait game.
Oh, yeah.
More than any other bait, I think. The jerkbait, everybody knows, is one of the best lures of all time. Live scope has just made it better. And Panoptics, like, way better.
Yeah, because I mean, I think I got a soft spot for jerkbaits.
Yeah.
I have way too many, but I mean, I could throw it 100. If they were I mean, I could throw it 365 days a year. I mean, I threw it in Florida, and middle of spring, it didn't matter. You could catch them.
So kind of to segue back here into the St. Lawrence.
Yeah, sorry, I got us all off track there.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Do you think it will be over or under 26.5 pounds a day to win?
Ooh.
And everybody listening, I want you guys to chime in here too and tell me what you think the weights will be.
26.5 a day.
So you're basically running that 80-pound mark for 3
days. Yeah.
Because they're going at the best time of year. I mean, not the best time of year, but the most fishable time of year, and where they are launching from.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
I'm going to say over. I'm going to say the over. Pretty dang near close or over. Just for that reason alone.
And I agree with that, just because of my point earlier where I was saying they were running from Messina to the lake, and they were virtually averaging almost 25 a day with an hour and a half of fishing. Now, if you can add in 2 more giant fish to that and call out a 4-pounder or 2 4-pounders in that bag, now you're easily fishing 27, 28 a day. It's just how many people are going to sabotage that lake bite because they're so close. That's where it gets a little more tricky.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like guys will be able to do it 24 pounds a day to win. What about, let me ask you this question then, since we're on that. Odds of seeing a 6 3/4 or 7-pounder?
Because they're fishing the lake, at this time of year, I bet you there will be at least 2 caught. At least.
2?
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if they all come on the first day. There's going to be giants on day 1 because guys are going to be like, if I can get to the lake, I have to light the world on fire to survive day 2. Because I think day 2, the wind is going to blow harder based on what I looked at. Oh, wait. Nope. The wind is, I have it written down here, Thursday, 2 to 5 foot, Friday, 1 to 2, and Saturday, 1 to 3. So they basically have to survive day 1. So day 1, you might see lower weights, but that 1 to 2 foot wave, I believe the wind is northwest. So those guys fishing Canada, it's going to be glass.
Yeah.
And they're going to, those fish haven't really been pressured in 2 years.
Yeah. Because they haven't been open. And then the other part of it too, like you said, is, I just think, like you said, they're going to survive day 1. Day 2, they'll probably, rack them pretty good. And then day 3, they still might, because you're cutting down to 12.
Yeah. No, I think it's actually 10 for the opens. I believe it's top 10.
It is 10. It is
Yeah.
10. I don't know why I said 12.
And so if you think about it that way, right? If you get 5 guys in that last day that are fishing river only, and you have 5 guys that are going to the lake, there is so much water available to those 5 guys. Like Chris and Corey Johnston, they might be like, I know stuff that nobody else will find in 3 or 4 days of
Yeah.
practice, even if they have to run 100 miles down Lake Ontario to get to it. They might do it on that final day for a shot at just blowing the doors off of it, because they have more time there than literally probably every angler in that tournament combined.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. But back to the baits, we talk about the flatworm. I wonder, I'm just trying to think, I'm sure a jerkbait might work in like the river area where, around current breaks and stuff like that. But I think, drop shot flatworm or whatever else similar to that is going to be huge.
Another bait too is if guys are fishing shallow, you will see or hear about a spy bait and hair jig play.
Oh yeah.
Because those always play up there. You don't get a lot of bites on them, but they tend to catch giant
big ones. Yeah.
And it's with that spy bait, you get a 6.5 pounder that eats a spy bait, they're probably coming off.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. They're probably straightening those hooks. I mean, those hooks aren't very big as it is. So
honestly, I've never had an issue with the hook straightening on them.
Really?
It's just they come off because their mouth is so hard.
Yeah.
You have to hit them as hard as you can to get it penetrated in the bone and the jaw. But if you hit them too hard, you pull it out of their face. So you almost like reel set into them, but then it doesn't really get them good. It's not something I like to fish a tournament.
Yeah. There's too many what ifs when you throw that bait.
Right.
Well, when you're catching on that bait. I mean, it's a great bait. Obviously, it's been proven it works. I've used it a lot on Champlain, and for me personally, it was just, I guess it was probably the areas I was fishing. I just never really got a big bite on it. I catch 2s, maybe 3s on it, but I just couldn't get the big bite. But I think it was area specific as well.
And that's the weird thing with the spy bait. I found that it catches more fish, and you get big bites on it, but keeping those big ones pinned is really hard for me for whatever reason. So, and when I fish a drop shot, getting a big bite on it, I consider itself almost 100% land ratio if you hook them really good. So and I've been tinkering around, I'm not going to lie here, with hooks, because 2 weeks ago, I was finding that they were literally biting halfway on the bait. So I lost one at the boat that was probably 6.5 pounds, and I literally could see my bait in the hook hanging out of its mouth.
So it was just holding on that whole time.
It was holding on to a Maxim flatworm the entire time, and it saw the boat and it just opened its mouth and it fell out. Never hooked him.
Yeah. So did you because basically my personal favorite drop shot hook is the size 1 Gamakatsu octopus hook is what I use. I like it. It's a little bit wider gap, so you can get it driven really up in the nose and everything. And you got that, I guess you would say that leeway between, the jaw and the hook. So it's not going to just roll out or whatever. But like for that situation, what I've done is gone to like a little,
straight shank.
Yeah. Like a roboworm rebarb straight shank, like a 2 or 3, size. And then you tend to get, like you said, those short strikes or whatever, you tend to catch them a little bit better.
Oh yeah. So sure enough, I didn't have them in my boat. I literally just threw a box of weights and a box of hooks in my boat and like 7 or 8 bags of flatworms. And I was like, I'm just going to go out and drop shot on them today. And literally like the first 4 bites I had, they came off of the boat. So I'm like, oh, this stinks. So they started eating it better, but I can bet you as soon as I got home, I ordered some size 1 and 2 straight shank owner cover shots. And I think that's going to save me those days where they do bite it real short. Then they have that longer hook and hook them better. And I think it takes away a little bit of the natural action of the bait. But when it comes to scent, I don't think it matters with those flatworms because they look dumb in the water anyways. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no shape, weight, form sponsored by Berkeley or anything like that, or have any. I mean, I have connections there. I got buddies that work there and stuff, but like you're saying though, they're holding on to that bait. They're fighting you until they see that boat, and then they're letting it go. So if that doesn't speak volumes on that, the max scent, I don't know. I don't know what does.
So I didn't tell you about this story. I was on a guide trip, and my client was drop shotting a flatworm, and as he was dropping it, we had a 5.5 pounder come 10 feet off the bottom and eat it on the fall.
That's insane.
I've never seen it. Watched it right on 2D. Literally, I could see the lines going down, and the bottom line came up and met it. And he's like, my line went I was like, close it and set. He's like, what's up? I'm like, just close it and set. And he had him as a 5.5 pound fish.
That's awesome.
Insane.
Is what's the biggest one for your? I know you do your
just over 6.
Just over 6.
So for a client, I've got 2 almost 6.5 pounders in the boat myself, and then 2 others over 6 this year.
Oh, you don't count. You're not eligible for the gift card that you're giving away.
Yeah, it's true. But but we do have. I'm closing in on a 105 pound fish on the boat this year. I keep telling you to come up.
I know,
Buffalo's insane. But
I will be up there in what, a week and a half almost.
Yeah, a week and a few days. Yeah. So we pretty much know who's gonna win it if he's in it, right? Probably one of the Johnston brothers. So we'll skip right past that. But do you think Ike will qualify for the Elite Series?
Do I think he will?
Yeah.
But I don't.
Because technically with BP dropping out of the tournament,
he's in first.
He's leading AOI.
Yeah. I think so, man, as long as he doesn't have an Ike episode, which I don't think I've seen those in a while either. No. But I mean, that guy, he's won an Open up north, fishing.
Sandusky, right?
Yeah, and then he's finished second a few years ago. My buddy Will won it, and Ike finished second, and they were basically on the same stuff for the past couple of years. They're fishing it, but I mean, he's definitely, definitely a solid. I mean, you got to look at him. Solid pick if you were doing like fantasy fishing or something like that. You got to include him in a northern swing for sure.
The experience alone of being there so many times, he's got a leg up, and I think it's one of his favorite fisheries too. And he just finished 17th at the Messina event, which will totally get him in. I think if he has like a top 40, he'll probably.
Yeah, I think he'll be in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think so, man. It'd be cool to see him back in the elites. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to shake a lot of things up this year.
Well, I think that speaks volumes too. Like, first, a lot of the guys that went to MLF and they struggled over there, they seem to be like coming back to the 5-fish format, as to where like guys like Jordan Lee and Jacob Wheeler are just obliterating them.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're just fish catching machines. I think they go out and just try to find as many fish as possible and just catch them.
Oh, yeah.
So
Wheeler's just. Don't get me wrong now. Wheeler he was winning major events, in the elites and FLW. And he won a Forest Wood Cup on Lanier when he was like 18, 19 years old, something crazy like that. Yeah. So the dude, obviously can catch him, but the style, like you said, it really fits him. I don't know if you've ever done an MLF type tournament. I've done it, and you have to completely change how you fish. You really do. It's a mentality, everything, and you go from being ingrained in your head, best five, like
5 bites, 1 bite at a time.
Yeah, exactly. To dude, if I only get 5 bites, I'm gonna finish dead last. I gotta. And then when they switched it this year to what the most lakes were like 2 pounds, somewhere like a pound and a half. Dude, that's brutal. Like, when I used to be stationed in South Carolina, you fish Sandy Cooper and Murray. And a lot of those are 15-inch limits at certain times of the year and stuff. And it's tough. You're talking a 15-inch limit is basically a 2-pounder, So It's definitely tough, and you in that situation, you change the way you fish too. I mean, you're trying to fish for those bigger bites versus just catching fish. So
Absolutely. So
but
speaking of station and stuff, congrats. You announced your retirement from the Air Force,
yeah,
correct?
yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, my retirement ceremony is going to be the 1st of December, um, and then I'll be officially retired 1 June. But we're going to be moving down to Knoxville, so that's kind of cool. We're going to move like a little bit west of Knoxville. Um, there's obviously great fisheries around. I mean, it's going to be awesome because I went from South Carolina, where I was 20 minutes from Santee Cooper, 45 minutes from Lake Murray. I had so many lakes within an hour distance.
Right.
And then Atlanta, Lanier, I mean, one of the best, spotted bass fisheries, the whole East Coast, I mean, minus obviously California, but, had that really close by. And then Florida, of course, Harris Chain.
You basically lived on the Harris Chain, right?
Yeah, I lived like maybe 20 minutes tops, and I spent, out of the time I fished down in Florida, I probably spent about 85% of it, maybe 90% on Harris Chain. It was just close. I liked it. I was able to learn a lot down there and just kind of really dial in the lake.
Yeah.
And then come up here and it's like, you got the three rivers,
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'd rather make the 2-hour drive to Erie than a 20-minute drive to the river. But unfortunately for me, baseball and surgeries kind of sideline a lot of that. But, Tennessee, looking forward to it.
Couple years for you up there in Pittsburgh, except for your son's been killing it at baseball, which is awesome. But so now you're moving to Knoxville. So what will the home lake be? Will it be Fort Loudon and Tellico, or are you going to be more like South Holston area, like
Man,
eastern Tennessee?
Yeah, no, I'm in more West Tennessee. The area we're looking at, there's like a little lake / river system. It looks like a river to me, but it's technically a lake. But I'm trying to remember the name. I'd be lying to you if I gave you. Let's see here. I'm trying to look it up on the map now. It's the Tennessee River is right there, obviously. And then there's another lake, and then you got Norris is close by. Just got a lot of things, like I can
You can
shoot down.
fish again.
Yeah, Chickamauga. I got you got Chick close by. I got Gunnersville. I'm actually fishing a tournament. The Army Bass Anglers organization has like a team tournament. Every year it's East Coast. Last year was at Gunnersville, and this year it's at Gunnersville again. So. Looking forward to getting down there and fishing that. We should have won last year. We had four really good fish in one little 12-inch spot, and we had the fish on. It just didn't happen. But just the ability to be able to fish some awesome lakes.
Right.
Not have to drive 2+ hours just to fish is going to be a lot of fun again.
Yeah, thank goodness. You went from Florida where you fish basically, if you had an hour, you could go out and fish. Or if you had a 2-hour stretch, you're like, all right, I'm going to go to this canal, put it in, go catch a couple, and go home and get baseball practice. To go into the Allegheny River system. It's the Allegheny River system, right?
There's all three, and there's the Ohio and Monongahela. The Mon was the closest one. Like I said, you can go out there and catch 15, 20 fish in like a couple hours, and you might be lucky and catch a 2.5, but that's basically, you're all catching that pound and a half, maybe 2-pounders. Yeah, no, they're a lot of fun. When we did have time, like last year with COVID and stuff, I fished it, pretty frequently with my son, because it was just easier for him to, catch fish, and, took his little buddies out there and stuff. So it's not a bad place, but it's just not an ideal place, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move into the next thing here. Next weekend. Are you excited to come back up to Buffalo?
Yeah, Jeff's Pizza Party, man. Gotta go to Buffalo.
Pizza party and
Yeah, the custard.
ice cream.
Oh
Can't beat
man,
it.
I think I'm
So
about to lose like 5 pounds just to go up there. Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It'll be good to see you again. It's been almost a year since the
Oh wow.
anniversary
Yeah.
of me and Destin just cracking them, which
Yeah.
was
That was unbelievable, man. That was, like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've had a lot of great tournaments and stuff, but like, you know, and wins and stuff, and that was up there, like right with some of my best tournaments. Just to watch you guys crack them. I mean, we didn't have a terrible bag, but obviously we weren't in contention like that. But man, it was just awesome.
yeah. It was funny. Like we looked at each other, thinking, well, the first fish we put in the boat, I won't lie, it was like a 6 1/4
Yeah.
pounder, right?
Yeah.
Very first drop or second drop of the day. We're like, all right, we got a 6. We're gonna crack them. 2 hours later, we had one fish in the boat. We're throwing back 3.5 pounders because we're like, if we put them in the well, it's gonna kill us. So we moved and started running all over it. We just found a magical spot that
Yeah.
loaded with absolute giants. So this time around, it's going to be a little bit different. So
Yeah.
where we were all fishing in a party, we're going to be more spread out. There's going to be a lot more fishable water, which is going to be interesting for you, seeing as you're only going to come up for 1 day of practice. So how are you going to go through that 1 day of practice? I mean, obviously we're going to help you out a little bit the best we
Yeah.
can.
So basically, my plan, and of course that could change too, but is to kind of basically go to the mouth of the river, kind of check out some of that areas. And I got some stuff on the graph that I've looked at and have marked and stuff like that to check. I'm just going to try to find those those transition areas, those humps and stuff where they're going to be moving back out deep and stuff, and just trying to see if I can find them. I mean, I'm sure if you go around and hit like current breaks with rock and stuff, I'm sure catch a few. But I just want to. I don't care if I get 5 bites as long as they're the right ones.
You're gonna catch more than 5 fish.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, well, this is my first guide trip I had in like a month. A couple weeks ago, I went out. But I take it back. I went out with Bailey, just like poking around to see what was going on.
Yeah.
First time on the lake, and we had a 5.9 and a 5.5. We had like 24 pounds. I was like, oh, that's second week of August. Like, this is incredible for that time of year. And then the next day I go out and I caught 7 fish all day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, great, 50 fish to 7. Then I went out 2 days later and we caught 70.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on out here? It's just the fish are moving so much, and I fish the same spot because it's just a big fish area.
Yeah.
And I honestly, it's going to be a slugfest for the middle of September. It's my least favorite time to fish Lake Erie out of Buffalo because it's just that fall funk. Like,
Yeah.
the south faces it from now until like November before it gets really cold. We get like a 3-week period where it just gets funky.
Yeah.
But you can still catch them because Lake Erie rolls, so it flips this time.
Yeah.
Because we'll have southwest wind and a northwest wind, a southwest wind, so we get a lot of upwelling in the lake. So all of a sudden, we'll have water that comes from 200 foot deep, which is 150 miles away, and it'll push into Buffalo, and it pushes all those fish into like 6 inches of water.
Yeah.
And then they slowly have to trickle back out. And when they trickle back out, they just disappear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
that's like when we first got here in September. I think I went up the Erie, PA side with Destin, and it was like miserable. It was complete turnover. Like, we literally, I think, caught 1 fish the whole day, and it was brutal. And then, 2 weeks later, everybody's smashing them. So it's timing. I mean, who knows? Like you said, the wind could be a factor there. You really don't know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the wind isn't a factor because I don't want it to get moved to Sunday. I want it to be
Yeah.
Saturday because Bills game. Obviously, the Bills are going to be awesome this year. So let the smack talk commence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steelers
I mean,
fan.
Steelers, man, I don't, man.
They got to get J.J. Watt signed.
Dude, I know, like, and they don't do the contract negotiations during when the season starts. That's it; it's done.
Yeah.
And what I would kind of respect about him though is, you know, he didn't sit out; he sat in. So he's been going to every single practice. You know, he just does all the individual stuff. He doesn't do the team stuff. You know, so this way he's you know physically, mentally preparing himself.
Yeah.
You know, for it. But I mean, the guy's.
Just pay the guy. Like,
Yeah, he's one of the best.
What is the issue
there is? You know, and I mean, and the thing is let's be honest, Ben's not getting any younger. You know, Juju basically took a pay cut to stay with the Steelers. You know, I mean, defense. I mean, really didn't lose a whole lot on defense. So I think, and he gained Melvin Ingram. Dude's a beast. You know, him and Watt on each side. I mean, that's dangerous right there. So. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see. He got a bunch of new offensive linemen, though. That's what's kind of scary. A bunch of younger offensive linemen.
Yeah, I can't wait for that game Sunday. I'll be texting you and Destin and be like, "I told you so."
Yeah,
no,
yeah. I mean,
it's not words, but
yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. I mean, you know, yeah. I'd prefer to do it on Saturday myself, but. You know, if it happens, it happens. I guess that gives us 3 days up there instead of 2.
Yeah, so I mean, if it gets moved to Sunday, we just go to the river and bang on them again like we did last time. That was
fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And now you kind of have an idea what to do in the river as well. So if they keep the lake open, it's too rough, you could always go into the river.
Yeah.
So when we're out Friday, we should show you how to run through the Peace Bridge and underneath the train bridge because it's not fun.
Yeah.
So I can draw it on a map for you, but you have to experience to do it. Experience it once to do it because it's daunting in a basket. Yeah. So, but
sounds like fun.
Yeah, it could be one in the river. I shout out to a friend of mine, Alex. He fishes for ESF, which is the Environmental School of Syracuse. Just caught a 7.5 pounder out of the Niagara River like 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah, that's
26
insane.
pounds to their best 5 in August. So I don't know what's going on with Lake Erie and the Niagara River system, but literally this has been the best year from what I can ever remember for quality, size of fish, and quantity. Like it's just normally this time of year, like I'm telling clients, we're going to get 5 to 10 bites. We're going to work for them and just be ready for that because they're coming flurries of 3 and 4. Yeah. So we might catch 3 or 4 and then run 15 rock piles and see them and they're not going to eat. And all of a sudden we'll land on one. We'll catch 3 and 4. Then we'll go to the next one and same deal. And you got to get them in the boat because they fight hard.
Yeah.
When they come out 30 foot of water and 75 degrees.
Yeah.
It's not easy to get in the boat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I went the other day to Conneaut Lake.
Yeah.
Just a small little lake below Erie.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was 40-something degrees in the morning. So, you know, that early morning bite was basically non-existent. And I don't know what it is about that fishery, dude, but like the smallmouth and largemouth, they're both super mean. You know, I caught a smallmouth that was like 3.5 pounds and I could have swore I had a 5+ on there. And I mean, he was digging and I don't know. I mean, there's not really current there. There's just a lot of grass. Like it's deep, clear, and just grass everywhere.
It has to be spring fed or they're bait chasers. I find that bait chasers tend to fight a lot harder than goby eaters.
Yeah.
Because goby eaters are sluggish. Just
kind of sitting there, yeah.
Right? Oh, a goby popped out to eat something. I'm going to eat him now. As to where they actually have to chase bait. And bait was fast. So they have these big old rudders on them. And that's why I think southern smallmouth fight a lot harder than northern smallmouth for the most part because they're bait.
Yeah, it makes sense. Because, I mean, they were all, you know, because we found this hump and we're grasping it. And I was like, dude, there's a giant right there. You know, I fired down there, drop shot, couldn't get nothing. I fired Nico rig down there and it just slammed it. And, like I said, it fought hard. And then even just a largemouth, like a 2.5, 3 pound largemouth, I mean, it fought. And it was fun, don't get me wrong, but it was just kind of like shocking that once you got it close to the boat, you're like, oh, like it's a 3.5. Like, not that that's a small fish, but like, just, you expect it to be way bigger the way it was, fighting. But yes, you're talking about southern smallmouth, man. I fished a regional on Cherokee Lake, caught some really nice 4-pound smallmouth. And that was a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to getting to that lake when I, move down there. And Douglas is close by. You got a lot of good fisheries, so.
Yeah, I can't wait to come hang out for a little bit. I
man.
might have to make a trip down in like early spring if I have nothing going on.
Yeah, I'll go to Chick.
We'll go wherever you want. You're going to be the host.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, shoot. I better find them then. I better be on them. So.
Yeah, I mean, and me and Bailey have actually talked about this, going somewhere in like Tennessee, maybe in February or March before the season starts here, and film for a couple days. Just be like northern boys going south in the dead heart of winter.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen. We haven't solidified those plans, and I'm sure everybody will know about it when we do. But yeah. So anything else you want to talk about? Oh, I got a side little bar here.
I
was talking to Bailey about this. Since you partner with Gemini and you like run the booth and stuff, right? For like iCast and stuff.
Yep.
Let's talk about the importance and relevance of jerseys for weekend warriors. Do you think it's something they need, and if it should be just pro anglers who rock them? Or do you think it's actually a very important tidbit in the industry for these guys to be wearing it due to like 10 and 20% off?
Do you want Mike Schnupp's opinion or Mike Schnupp, who works for G2 Gemini's opinion?
Both.
Okay, so
and this is a hot take because I've worn them in local Club Little Derbies, and now I don't wear them because I think it's kind of funny. But I'm just curious here.
So I'll give you like 3 different perspectives on it, right?
Yeah.
So for the jersey company, obviously, look, those guys want to look the part, feel the part, whatever it may be. We're not going to tell them no. I mean, right? We need to, we need to make money. It's a business, so, some of the best anglers in the world wear our jerseys and, are on our team and so on and so forth. And that's not saying, one thing or another, but I honestly personally believe that we make the best quality jersey. The colors, stand out. I mean, it's just, and the thing is the customer service, and I'm not saying that because I work for them, but I ordered jerseys from them before I even started working for them. And if you basically talk to anybody, that's the first thing they say is, I get it all the time because I help with the social media stuff. Is hey, the customer service is amazing, and I think that's a huge part. But kind of going back to the jersey thing, like I said, it helps us obviously, so I think it's good. I'm going to kind of play devil's advocate here on this next part. It's good and bad for the industry, right? The reason why I say it's good is, right, if how can I say this politely without sounding like a jerk? You got a lot of guys getting discount deals, right? So so companies are still making money off of them. Right. So they're not getting it at their cost. They're getting it, a little bit above. So the company's taking some money in, they're getting some revenue off of it. So essentially the way I look at it is when you get those deals like that, as an angler, you're paying to be sponsored. Does that kind of make sense? Like they're making money off you.
I agree.
So the thing is if you want to wear the jersey, represent them, whatever, it definitely helps, because, the way I look at it and the way things, I know I'm going like all over the place, but is that you got guys like how the pro staff should work, from like a weekend warrior perspective is, you get your discount, you work your butt off, you show them that, hey, like, you're more than maybe go to free product and maybe get paid. That's how it should work. it doesn't necessarily work that way. A lot of companies make a lot of money off of quote unquote sponsored anglers. So to, that making that money, now you got the pro side anglers, they don't like per se the discount things, and I get it. It kind of ruins them from getting paid because you got a bunch of guys paying to promote the product and you're trying to get paid to promote the product. But in that standpoint is you got a lot of people paying for the sponsorships. So that gives more money to pay those professional anglers. Right. So that's why I said he played devil's advocate on that. But me personally, I'm not like this week, whatever we're fishing. I'm not wearing a jersey. You know what I mean? Like I'm showing up, honestly, whatever's going to keep me warm. And that's what I'm going to wear.
I think the long range forecast right now is like 75 and sunny.
Yeah, which means it'll be like 40 and 50 in the morning. And so I'll probably have no?
Not yet. Maybe 60s.
Okay, so I'll still be bundled up before. I'll be bundled up when we take off.
Shorts and sandals weather still.
Gosh, I might not even see shorts and sandals, but so it's kind of one of those things too. Like I said, is you got a weekend guy that's probably working his butt off, working 40 plus hours a week. And this is just his fun hobby. Yep. And, he would love to possibly pursue a professional fishing career, but he can't justify it, and family and all that other stuff. So, if he wears a jersey and, he, for that weekend derby, whatever, I'm not going to pick at him for it or nothing like that. I'd be like, oh man, this is dumb. The thing I guess I mainly have a problem with more so is, and Ish Monroe, we've talked about this 100 times. It's just always a topic at ICAST. It just always comes up, because you got these guys wearing their jerseys and, might not know who they are, from the guy next to them not wearing one. But we leave ICAST and they're at the restaurant. They're wearing their jersey. It's like, dude, bring a shirt to change, or the other day we were at, like I said, on Conneaut, and we pull up to the ramp and this guy pulls in after us and, talking to us. The next thing you know, he comes out of his truck and throws a jersey on. It's a Friday. There's no tournament going on. There's nothing going on. And he got a jersey on. And, it's probably to him that makes him feel important, and stuff like that. But I just don't agree with it. It's not people compare it to like football, baseball. Oh, you want to have your team's jersey on. Yeah, that's different. I'm wearing a team jersey or I'm wearing, Mike Trout's jersey.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not wearing, Mike Trout. It's not a sponsored jersey. It's a team jersey. That's what it is. Everybody on the team got the same jersey. You want to represent your team, you represent your team. Now the jersey, if you just had maybe just a plain Lose jersey and you just want to represent, okay, great. Right. But if you got all these other logos on there, like another big thing that kills me is, man, you'll see guys like with a Strike King logo and then a Berkeley logo and a Zoom logo. And it's like, it's kind of like, really,
I know you're not getting a discount from them.
Yeah.
Why do you have all three type deal? And it's free marketing and advertising for that company, but who is seeing it? So
Correct.
So here's my standpoint on it. From somebody who has an economics degree, it's brilliant for companies to push and pursue everybody to wear a jersey with their logo on, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Because if they're putting a logo on something, that person is more apt to buy your product. So if they come to you and they ask you if they can put your logo on their jersey, they're going to say yes, because that means that person is buying stuff from them. Now, it could also have an adverse effect to it too, because I've heard of some companies to where they put on, let's say, 500 or 600 pro staffers at 10 or 20 or 15% discount. But what you don't see is that they changed their prices a little bit. So they're still making the same amount of money they were making before, if not more, because they're basically writing off that 10, 15, or 20% in their revenue bucket. Yeah. Because they raise the prices so it doesn't affect them, but they have this entire supply chain of pro staff people that are just going to buy their product no matter what. They put a
Yeah.
sale out, 600.
Correct.
They're expecting 600 people to buy at least one piece of product from them.
Yeah, like I've seen something to where, say for instance, we'll just say a line company, right? Their line is $24.99, and their pro staff pricing is half off, right? But then the price sheet they see is $29.99. And then you have to order so much or it's not worth it because they charge you like $60 in shipping or something. So it's like you said, it's you're paying a ton out of your own pocket.
They find ways to make it advantageous for themselves.
Correct.
In the companies.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business. I get it. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I got one quick thing. She got my mind going on that.
Yeah.
So back a few years back, a lot of companies, you had to get written approval to use their logos.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're just checking a box saying, yeah, I'm authorized all this, and the thing is, there's just so many of them now. They're like, well, why would I have people, only approved people have my logo and get the email, written proof or permission when if they're paying, whatever to get a jersey made, why not? It's like you said, it's free advertisement.
Yep.
So
because they walk into a store and this guy that might be like a local hero to a bunch of people and they know who he is locally, like, oh, he uses Zoom products. Now all these guys are like, oh, he's got to be kicking my can on Zoom.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden all the guys are running and buying in Zoom base. He's laughing because he's actually throwing a striking bullworm.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah.
I wonder how much deception there goes into that too. Like guys will just plug all these logos on just to plug them so people think otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's crazy. Another thing that kind of gets me on all that is, let's just say, Andy, you're sponsored. I don't know. Let me think about. We'll just say Berkeley, right? So you're sponsored by Berkeley. Okay. Not taking anything away from you. You fish local tournaments. You're a guide. That's the extent of your tournaments, right? So now, let's say, Jordan Lee. He's with Berkeley. So Jordan Lee wins a tournament, and then there goes Andy. Hey, congrats to my Berkeley teammate Jordan Lee. No, dude, like you're not really teammates. You're not on the same level. If you got, like, we'll just say Mark Rose, General Tire. It's him, Skeet Reese, Ott Defoe, Edwin Evers, and was it Britt Myers? Yeah, I think it's who. Yeah, the other one is. But like now, if he posts, "Hey, congrats to my General Tire teammate Ott Defoe," yeah, that's your teammate. There's like 5 or 6 of you. You're the only 5 or 6 major guys for that team. But I just that's another thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way on that stuff.
Yeah, you get 600 congratulations from towards a pro that has no idea who you are.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, it's just tough, man. It really is. It's a lot of it's just business, and I just feel like if those guys are wearing those jerseys to weekend tournaments, kind of so be it, but don't overstep your boundaries and overplay your part. I guess that'd be my best advice for that.
Absolutely. Like, I have no issue with co-anglers that fish like the Opens or BFLs from wearing it, because some of them might actually have paid sponsors or they're supporting like a landscaping business back home.
Yeah.
Like a non-endemic sponsor that's a great way to support to have a jersey. But I find it laughable when a guy that fishes the canal throws on a jersey that says Zoom Bait Company on the front.
Yeah.
Letters. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
because I'm not gonna lie, I fished, BFLs as a co-angler, fished the Opens, fished the FLW Tour, fished, Tour, Opens, like bigger tournaments like that, and as co-angler. But yeah, I had a jersey, and a lot of that was, not a lot of it, all of it was, paying sponsorships that, took a chance with a jackwagon like me as a co-angler.
Yeah, jackwagon. You are right. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I think you're one of the furthest people from that. So, and from my knowing of you, right? You're a good guy there, Mike, and as always. So, anything else you want to talk about before we kind of let these guys go on their Monday night? Everybody tuning in.
Jeez, let's see. I just got this because it's on my mind. Buck fever.
I was gonna say hunting. So New York just opened a special season, like early season. I think it starts in like a week for deer.
Dude, you know what's killing me about this tournament that we're fishing? September 18th. That's opening day in my county for deer season.
You'll be fine. You'll go Monday. You'll go every night after work.
Yeah.
Sit in your office, put your camo jacket on, walk out the back door, and go shoot a buck. I think we did that last fall too, right? You basically got done with the work and went and shot one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I shot a doe. Yeah, I literally was at work and I was like, man, oh come on. When I got home and there was really nothing going on, no baseball, no nothing. I was like, babe, I'm gonna go stand. She's like, okay. And shot a doe. It was actually because to be honest, it was getting dark like around 6, 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, I'll go to the stand. When it gets dark, I'm hopping out and I'll meet you for dinner, because we're going to go out to dinner. And well, I ended up shooting a doe. And then, one thing led to another. I don't think we ate till like 8:30, 9 o'clock that night. But
oops.
But yeah, but that's all right. It's all right. I still got a tiny, tiny bit of meat left on that. We've been kind of using it sparingly. So I'm ready to
get another one. Fill up the freezer. Or two.
Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to go to Mark Rose's house again. Probably in October, maybe November, it just depends.
Oh, yeah,
we went there last year in October.
He shot a monster.
Yeah, he shot his first buck ever. His first deer was a buck, so he's a little spoiled. But and he got to go to Mark's house and hang out, and Mark, Mark's a great guy. I talked to Mark pretty frequently, and he sent me a picture maybe a month or two ago now, maybe a month ago, of the corn he had planted. He's like, here, show this to Lucas, and he'll send me like trail cam pictures and stuff.
He's probably all fired up at that point.
Oh yeah. The other day he was literally looking at, he's like, hey Dad, remember that 8 point that Mr. Mark showed? I was like, yeah. He's like, the one side, he's only got like 2 points. He's missing like half a rack. And I mean, this is pictures from last year, and he's still analyzing them and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I know a lot of anglers go and hunt in the fall, winter and stuff. So just good luck to all them, and man, just be safe. That's the biggest thing. As uncomfortable and inconvenient as it may be to wear a harness, wear it, man. It's not worth. I mean, you hear about all these anglers like Cliff Pace. Was right after he kind of won the classic. Not that far after that, he was that that fall. He fell out of a stand and broke his leg. And he basically missed almost the whole next season. So he got like a kind of like a waiver. I think there was somebody else too recently in the past year. I think had the same situation.
Oh, I can only imagine. I mean, unfortunately, I don't hunt at all just because I'm so entwined and wrapped up in fishing.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have time for it. And plus, I just like the whole gun debate, whatever. I see every side to it. I don't personally own one. I'm not against it. I think everybody has the right to own a gun.
Oh, yeah.
I'll throw that out there. It's just something I've never seen that I've ever felt like I've needed. So it's just, and I'll never.
It's personal preference, I mean, I love bow hunting. I mean, I shot a nice buck in Texas with a rifle, but bow hunting, I mean, it's just up close personal. It's like it's hard to compare because I mean it's different, but it's almost like seeing the 6-pounder on your graph and dropping down and getting it. Like it's just that excitement. It's up close and personal, or even bed fishing where you see the fish and like, dude, that's a giant.
Oh, I get all giddy when I see 3 colors on my 2D.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
And then when you drop on them and you see them kind of follow your bait down, you're like, oh, he's on it.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is my favorite.
Yeah. But seeing that deer and you're that close, I mean.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. It's like. Definitely buck fever and shake like crazy. It's an awesome, awesome feeling. But more importantly, provides food and meat, everything for my family. So that's another
And
big
that's the
aspect
biggest
of it.
thing. I have no issue with that. Like I would,
Yeah.
if I were to hunt, I would hunt something that's sustainable, something that can feed my family. Deer is the first
Oh
one. I
yeah.
love venison, absolutely love
Yeah.
it. And Bailey, when you listen to this, you still owe me some from last year that you said you
Oh
would give me,
man.
and you haven't given me yet. Now you're
Yeah,
in Buffalo.
him and his brother got some good ones too, man, last year. Two nice
Um,
bucks.
we're talking about this. I know this is a fishing podcast, but I actually want to go
Sorry, I took
coyote
it to
hunting
hunting.
with. It's fine. I actually want to go coyote hunting with Bailey and his brother because that sounds like an absolute riot. Calling like
Yeah.
at like midnight, 1 a.m. That just sounds like something that would be fun to me.
Oh
So
yeah.
I just would never buy this stuff myself to do it.
No, for sure. I mean, like I said, everybody has their own opinions and preferences and all that good stuff. And that's just another thing, real quick, just, with COVID and everything else and, just everything that's going on in this world, it's kind of jacked up, man. There's no reason, to, to hate somebody or something like that, just based off of what they prefer and what they don't prefer, whatever, I mean, it's the beautiful part about this nation is you get to have your freedom of speech. You get to have those freedoms to pick if you want to have a firearm in your house or not have a firearm in your house. Me personally, I have them, but I'm not gonna hate you because you don't have one. I think the outdoor industry, it's a great industry. A lot of great guys, but I just want to see everybody, not to sound cliche, but just get along. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot worse scenarios than a COVID shot or whatever it may be. There's a lot more serious things going on in this world than that. So
Fair enough. So I mean, on that note, I don't know if I've ever found this out from you. What is your biggest smallmouth?
it's not that big. It's a 5'3".
Oh, you're gonna break that.
Yeah, it was
Hopefully the
on Erie. It
practice.
was on Erie last year.
Yeah, you're gonna break that. I can almost guarantee it.
I hope so. I think I might have broke it in that tournament last year, but we never weighed.
Wait them.
Yeah, because if we had a big one, it was it was on the other side, and
Yeah.
catching a lot of 4s, a lot of 3 3/4. So
Well, it's funny. You pick up like, oh, it's 3 3/4. If you were thrown on a scale, you're about, oh, it's 4.5. Like, oh
yeah,
god. Like October's just
it's
silly
just
up here
stupid.
because you'll catch a 17.5-inch fish and you're like, oh, that's a 3.5. And
Yeah.
then you put it on a scale, and it's like 4.3. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean,
take it off, reads 4.34. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's like
no
Tennessee.
sense. Yeah.
Tennessee, when I fished that region, was 18-inch limit. I'm catching 17 and 7/8, and they're 4+ pounders. I have to throw them back.
Yeah.
How heartbreaking that is. It's like, gosh.
Megan, just stretch a little more.
Yeah, but I mean,
There's ways to make it
balls.
work, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but my whole thing with that whole regional, man, is I caught, no joke, no exaggeration, I probably caught 60, 70 fish a day as a co-angler. Just never could get that 18-inch smallmouth. It just was non-existent for me. But
that's
it's
why
all
it's called
good.
fishing.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, hoping to break that 5'3" or whatever.
Yeah, we got to get you up here for like 3 days and just go.
Yeah, every time last year it just didn't work out, and this year might be even more tough. Just getting ready to move and sell the house and all that.
Whatever you need
we'll
from
figure it out.
Whatever you need from me, let me know.
Yeah, for sure. Likewise, man.
And I look forward to seeing you here in a little over a week and a half.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
Yeah.
Can't wait to eat some pizza and wings and the Jeff Mann garage that will have like 8 boats in it. And
yeah, no, it was definitely nice to get all our boats in there, just kind of hang out, and definitely a good time. And like I said, like Andy was saying before, I'm only gonna have a day of practicing. He's gonna help us out, and I think that's what's so awesome about, like, the I wouldn't say our clique, whatever, but our little group of friendships that we have is, everybody's willing to help each other, because everybody wants to see each other succeed, and that's what's really awesome.
Well, to take us back to last fall, one last time here in that Douglas tournament, if you caught it or Jeff caught that bag or my buddy Justin and Jordan, I would have been just absolutely like enamored with it, just absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, if you're only in the sport for yourself, you're not going to go very far. So take care of your friends, treat them well, and everything will be right.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think it's the same with like baseball, football, and stuff. Yeah, I mean, like those guys, my kid, we go to a lot of baseball games, and a lot of guys will come over and sign, and a lot of guys just completely ignore the fans. And it's like, dude, especially, I mean, even in the fishing industry, like these are the people that are paying you to play this sport. They're the ones that are putting the money in. So
right. So Ryan, I feel that he's not a hunter either. He's been catching some giant smallmouth on like one of the little tributaries that dumps into the Ohio, and I bet a lot of guys wish those fish actually lived in the Ohio itself. So Ryan's actually coming up to fish with me here in a couple weeks. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. So, but on that note, I gotta get my tackle ready because I'm heading out in the morning for a few hours.
Yeah, I got to mess with mine a little bit today to get ready for next week. So, but thanks so much again for having me on.
Thanks for helping out. I'm sure people would rather listen to someone else's voice than mine for an hour and 15 minutes, especially. It's doing a lot better than it was. If we had to do this 3 hours ago, you wouldn't have been able to hear me. I sounded like Minnie Mouse on a silencer. So we're doing okay. Yeah, maybe not for people's ears, but it would have been fun to listen to, like in the interpersonal part. So, but for now, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm not sure if there's going to be a business from the Bass Boat episode on Wednesday, and I'm going to figure out something here for Friday because Bailey and Deacon, like I said, are both up at the Thousand Islands. So I want to wish them the best of luck, and Destin to Marion, a friend of ours too, who's up there fighting to get a classic berth. He needs to win it, but let's hope he pulls through.
He can do it, man.
And then Sakai's fishing as well. So will Sakai go back to back as co-angler champion? That would be insane.
Yeah, and he's also fishing. He's also fishing the Derby next week with us.
Yep, he will be. Yeah. So it is brand new CX21 Camus. That boat's awesome.
Yeah, and then he just won a Phoenix too, so he's gonna have to get rid of
that. But best of luck to everybody up there. It's Great Lakes. It's the fall. Anything can happen any day. So watch the weather, stay safe, and go crack some giant smallmouth while we're all sitting here watching, being jealous,
wishing we were there.
Yes. So, well, thanks, Mike, again for joining and talking about the St. Lawrence Open, among other things, and the Jersey rant. I think it was fun. I hope everybody enjoyed. As always, like I said, it's presented by Queen Tackle and all these 20% off coupons at the bottom that have run through here. If you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me up, hit Bailey up. We answer them all. You can even ask Mike. I'm sure he'll answer. So, sorry, Mike.
Hey. But, no, shoot. Hey, ask the question, man.
But we're going to sign off here. And I hope everyone has a good night and a good day as you listen to this when you do. So we'll see you all soon.